اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. فاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أما بعد فقد قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ذكر علي عبادة الصلوات. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Salamun alaykum ya Ali Madad. Tonight, as we know, is the 1st of Muharram. Starting from today till the 10th of Muharram, we will have daily live programs, Majlis with a Masaib. Tonight, we will discuss about a very important subject, and once we finish the Majalis, we will head towards the Masaib of the 1st Muharram. Tonight, we will discuss about a very famous, known, and important Imam, Ahlul Bayt. Because tonight, I have decided that we will talk about our 4th Imam, Imam Zainul Abidin. His name is Ali ibn al-Hussein alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. But if you don't recognize him from his name, I'm sure you recognize him from his titles, which are Syed Sajjad and the most famous one, Zainul Abidin. And I am pretty sure that we have all heard this name in our majalises. The title Syed Sajjad means the master of Sajidin, or the master of the prostrators. And the title Zainul Abidin means the leader of the worshipper. Our 4th Imam, as we know, is the son of Imam Hussein, who is our 3rd Imam. And the mother of our 4th Imam is Bibi Sheher Banu, Salamullah alayha. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. As we all know, Bibi Sheher Banu, she was the princess of Great Persia. Our 4th Imam, he was born on the 5th Shaban in Medina, and he murdered on the 25th of Muharram. He was poisoned by Walid ibn Marwan. Our Imam is buried in Al-Baqi, which is located in Medina. Now, when I talk about Imam Zainul Abidin in my majalises, I always think it's important for me to deliver a very important waqia. In this majlis, I will deliver 2 simple waqia. Simple words, simple stories. These stories will be so easy to understand that I can guarantee our youth will be able to memorize them. First, I'm going to tell you one waqia and then we'll move on. During the time of Hajj, Hisham, who was the Caliph of Medina, he tried to touch Hajar Aswad. As we know, Hajar Aswad is a black rock located on the eastern corner of the Kaaba. The army of Hisham, they were yelling, "Move out the way! The Caliph of Medina is coming, move out the way!" But nobody paid attention because everybody was busy in their prayers. Hisham was trying so hard. The army of Hisham was trying so hard to make way so he can touch Hajar Aswad. But nobody, in fact, really cared because everybody was busy in their tawaf. Everybody was busy in their prayers. At one point, Hisham, he got tired. He sat in a corner, and that is when he saw something that shocked his mind. He saw a pious man. Listen carefully because I will tell you who this pious man is. A pious man approaching. Hisham saw a pious man approaching. Pious clothing, modest clothing, and he was praising Allah. This pious man, who he didn't know, was Imam Zainul Abidin. Imam Zainul Abidin approached, and everybody made way for our Imam. They made way just like when the river of Nile made way for Hazrat Musa. The people made way for Imam Zainul Abidin just like when the river of Nile made way for Hazrat Musa. The people made way for Imam Zainul Abidin just like when the walls of the Kaaba cracked open and told Bibi bint Asad to enter the Kaaba. Bibi bint Asad to enter the Kaaba. everybody started to make way. And Hasham, he knew that this pious man, this pious person was Imam Zainul Abidin. But Hasham, he wanted to humiliate our Imam. So what did Hasham say? Hasham said, who is this man? Who is this man you are making way for? Once again, Hasham knew that this man was Imam Zainul Abidin. But Hasham wanted to humiliate our Imam. So he said, who is this man you are all making way for? That is when a lover of the Ahlul Bayt, a lover of the Imam, a poet by the name Farazduk said, Hasham, you do not know who this man is? He said, this man is the son of Kaaba, the son of Safa, the son of Marwa. Farazduk then proceeded to recite a poetry about our fourth Imam. That is when Hasham said, Farazduk, you live in my kingdom, I pay for your scholarship. Why do you not recite a poem just like that for me? Farazduk smiled, he said, Hasham, do not even compare yourself to my Imam. Hasham, you are the caliph, you are the king in this world. But Hasham, my Imam is the king of this world and the world of hereafter. Then Hasham realized, Hasham, that's when Farazduk said, Hasham, do not compare yourself to my Imam. You may be the king of this world, but my Imam will be the king of this world and the world hereafter. This was the love Farazduk had for Imam Zainul Abidin. My Azadar, now that we move on, I would also like to bring up a book. A very famous book. The name of this book is Risalatul Hukuk. It is a book of long narrations of Imam Sajjad, of Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam. The narration contains over 50 duties of every individual towards one another. In this narration, Imam outlines 50 divines under 7 categories. The first one, the rights of God, the rights of Allah. The second one, the rights of the soul and the body organs. Third, the rights of the worship rituals. 4, the rights of the governor and the people. 5, the rights of the family member and relatives. 6, the rights of different groups of people. And number 7, last but not least, financial rights. In this book, these subjects are elaborated specifically, so it is very encouraged for our youth to read this book. Now, my Azadar, as I said in the beginning, now I will tell you another waqia, another story. This story is related to the events of Karbala, so it is important to listen to it carefully. Once you hear this story, you will understand how much justice our Imam has for his enemies. This happens, Imam Zainul Abidin was traveling from Mecca to Medina. The sand was burning. The rays of the suns, they were shining, they were burning. Extremely hot. During the travel of our Imam saw a fainted man on the floor, on the sand. Imam concluded that if this man did not receive any water, he would die of thirst. Imam Zainul Abidin took all the water he had. He rushed to that man and he gave him water. Imam then returned, and that is when that man got up. That person got up and said, "O son of Hussein, I am so glad you did not see my face." That man got up and said, "O son of Hussein, thank God you did not see my face, because if you recognized who I was, you would have never given me water." That is when Imam Zainul Abidin said, "Hasin ibn Namir, I recognized you. Hasin ibn Namir, before giving you water, I knew who you were, and I knew you were the killer of my brother Ali Akbar. But Hasin ibn Namir, us Ahlul Bayt, we have justice towards our enemies as well. Hasin ibn Namir, us Ahlul Bayt, we give water to our enemies as well." My Azadar, look how much justice Imam Zainul Abidin had towards the killer of his brother. Imam Zainul Abidin showed mercy, showed gratitude, and gave him water to keep him alive. My Azadar, listen to these stories and see how much justice the Ahlul Bayt has and had towards their enemies. Now, before I go towards the Messiah, please recite aloud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Tonight, as we know, is the first Muharram, the start of a new Islamic year. We do not greet this year with merrymaking or celebration. We don't hold any parties. Our hearts instead are filled with grief, sorrow, and sadness because we take this time to remember the martyrs who were killed innocently in the Battle of Karbala. For the next couple of days, for the next couple of nights, we hold majalises to mourn the martyrdom of Imam Hussein, his family, and his companions. The word majalis means seating, where people will come, gather, and sit. During the majalis of Muharram, we recall the events of the martyrdom of Imam Hussein, his family, his companions, the hardship and suffering of those in his family who survived the tragedy of Karbala. The first Majlis of Hussein was held and started by his own sister Bibi Zainab as soon as they were set free by Yazid. Since then, all the Imams and Shi'as have continued to do the Majlis of Hussein regularly. The question comes from the crowd, why do we hold these Majlises? What is the point of holding these Majlises? We take this time to hold this Majlis to thank Imam Hussein, to thank his family and his companions for the incredible and massive sacrifice in Karbala, for saving us, but not just us, but saving Islam. We hold these majlises because we love our Imam and we have grief and sorrow towards him about his hardship and suffering in Karbala. We take this time to comfort his mother, Bibi Fatima. Bibi Fatima, my Azadar, she comes to Majalis al-Hussein. She comes to each and every Majlis of Hussein. Though we cannot see her, I guarantee she prays for us and our family. And she collects our tears when we cry for Imam Hussein and his family. On the day of judgment, she will return these tears and she will save us from the hellfire. These tears will protect us from the fire of hell. My Azadar, I would like to say for everyone to close their eyes and think about what I've said. Examine your deeds, be your own judge, and see if they are good enough for you to face Bibi Fatima on the day of judgment. Be your own judge and conclude if your deeds are good enough for you to face Bibi Fatima on the day of judgment. If you are not praying your wajib salat regularly, how would you be able to face Bibi Fatima on the day of judgment? You have come to the Majlis of Hussein because you are thankful for what Hussein did to save your religion, yet you do not pray? You cry, you do matam for Hussein because you love him. And if you love him, surely you want to please him. How can we please Hussein if you are not praying your salat regularly? My Azadar, the Majlis of Hussein, they will continue till the end, till the day of judgment. Enemies of Islam, they will try and they have tried to stop Majlis, to stop Matam in all ways. But my Azadar, the more they try, the more we become powerful. They will try, they have tried hundreds and thousands of times. On the first Muharram, they have tried hundreds and thousands of times, but we will continue to do the Majlis of Hussein. But now let me move on and let me recite the Masaib of the first Muharram. On the first of Muharram, Imam Hussein's caravan reached just outside of Karbala. They pitched their tents for the night. Hussein and his sister Zainab, they were standing outside their tents talking. Together, they both sighted the moon of the first Muharram. Tears flowed from Hussein's eyes. Zainab, she became worried. She said, "Oh my brother, my dearest brother Hussein, why are there tears in your eyes?" Imam Hussein said, "Zainab, my sister Zainab, pray for me that I keep my promise to Allah. Pray, my sister, that I succeed in completing my mission to save Islam. Zainab, pray for me that I do not hesitate in giving my life for Islam." Imam Hussein, my Azadar, Imam Hussein, he was not crying because he was worried about dying. Hussein did not ask his sister to pray for his survival. Instead, he asked his sister to pray that he could sacrifice his life for Islam. All he was concerned about was saving us and Islam. Bibi Zainab's eyes, they were filled with tears when she heard what Hussein asked her to do. Imam Hussein said, "My beloved sister Zainab, do not cry. Zainab, you will have to perform a greater duty after my martyrdom. Be brave and patient. My azadar, from the first of Muharram till Sham Ghariba." Imam Hussein, he has always reminded us and his family to be patient. "My son Ali Akbar," Imam Hussein said, "my son Ali Akbar, I saw a dream last night. I saw a group of people heading for a place where death was waiting for them. I saw them get killed one by one." That is when Ali Akbar said, "Father, I know these people. Those people are us. But tell me, Father, are we on the right path?" My azadar, do not get confused. Hazrat Ali Akbar knew that they were on the right path. But the reason he asked this question was to remove any confusion among us. Which is when Imam Hussein said, "Yes, my son Akbar, in fact, we are on the right path." Then Hazrat Ali Akbar said, "Then why do we worry, Father? If we are on the right path, let's die happily. We should continue our journey to Karbala and greet death with a smile." Which is when Imam Hussein said, "My son Akbar, I am proud of you." And now, because this is the first Muharram, I want to talk about the departure of Imam Hussein from Medina. Imam left Medina on the 28th of Rajab. When he began his journey, he first went to the grave of his grandfather, Rasulullah. The thought that this might be the last time he came to see the grave of his grandfather left him in sorrow. He put his cheek on the grave of his grandfather and cried. He said, "I have come to say goodbye to you, O my grandfather Rasulullah. I have to leave Medina to save Islam." Imam Hussein, he stayed there for a very long time and he cried a lot. His eyes closed and he saw the Prophet in his dream, and he said to him, "O grandfather Rasulullah, I have come to give my last salutations to you. The land of Medina has become small from me. Tyrants among the Muslims are after my blood, and I am leaving Medina with a heavy heart." After that, Imam Hussein, he went to the grave of his brother Imam Hassan with a very heavy heart. There he stared for some time, talking to his brother, saying, "Oh my brother, now the enemies are after my blood. It looks like it's time for my martyrdom. My time for my martyrdom is near. Oh my brother, I am now leaving you. I am leaving the lands of Medina." I imagine that Imam Hassan, he replied, "Oh my brother Hussein, I bid you farewell, and I give you my son Qasim. He will help you in Karbala. He will be your sadqa in Karbala." My azadar, finally Imam Hussein, he ran to the grave of his mother Fatima. We read in the books, Imam Hussein, he ran to the grave of his mother Fatima, just like when a child runs to his mother. Imam Hussein ran to the grave of Bibi Fatima, just like when a child ran to his mother. Imam Hussein jumped on the grave of his mother, just like when a child jumps on the laps of his mother. My azadar, imagine how hard must these times be for Imam Hussein. He knew this would be the last time he would ever be able to visit the shrine, to visit the qabr of Bibi Fatima. He went to the grave of Bibi Fatima. He jumped on the grave just like when a child jumps on the lap of his mother. He said, "Oh my mother, accept my last salam. I am leaving the lands of Karba. I am leaving the lands of Medina. I am leaving Jannatul Baqi. Please accept my dearest last salam. I will not come back to Medina. The prophecy of my grandfather is about to come true." I imagine that Bibi Zahra would have said from her grave, "Oh my beloved son Hussein, for whom I have raised by keeping awake at night, by being awake at night, I would not let you go alone, Hussein. From this day, I would not rest in my grave, but I would accompany you. I would follow you throughout your journey to Karbala." Historians write that throughout the journey, various family members reported that Imam Hussein, A lot of family members reported that when everyone went to sleep, there was a voice of a woman weeping. She would say, "Oh, Ya Hussein, oh my son Hussein." When asked, Imam Hussein said, "Oh my family, that lady you hear saying and screaming at night, Ya Hussein, oh my son Hussein, is my mother Fatima, who has been following me since the beginning of my journey." Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Razan be qazai tasliman li amri. Matame Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. My Azadar, we have concluded tonight's first Muharram Majlis. Inshallah, tomorrow we will have same time 9:30 p.m. Eastern. We will recite another Majlis with the Masaib of the second Muharram. These lectures will go on until the 10th of Muharram. Thank you very much. Khuda Hafiz. Iltimasi dua. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.